Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. All right, so we're gonna be talking about uh, a no start issue, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a no start issue. It could be a bunch of other issues, like I don't know, the car would sputter out, or you have issues with a ton of codes that have really nothing to do with each other when you put your scanner in the OBD2. Issues where your car would, your dash lights will work, but you won't get a crank, or issues where you have, depending on the car you have, you could have all these different issues. You know, you could have the windshield wipers coming on and you won't be able to shut off, but that's for the most part haywire issues that, you know, that don't have anything to do with each other. You know, one issue really doesn't have anything to do with each other, and you can't find the gremlin, the electrical gremlin that's causing it. You're thinking it might be your ECU. A lot of times with this issue, you probably will have a no crank, no start issue, but you can't figure out exactly what the problem is. Your battery would test good. Your fuse box, everything is good in the fuse box. There's no blown fuses. Your relays are good. So if you tested like everything out and you've come to the conclusion that it might be the ECU, because the ECU is connected to all that, or you're absolutely stumped as to what could cause this kind of problem. All right, and this problem is generally a problem with maybe older cars, B, cars where the ground cable where it connects to the chassis or the frame of the vehicle is either painted over, or the contacts are too small. But we're gonna talk about ground issues. All right, if you guys are new to electrical terminology, the ground wire is essentially, you have a positive and a negative. Normally the negative of the battery is connected to your car's frame, which is the chassis. It's called a ground wire because it's grounded to the frame. However, there are many ground wires in a vehicle, and a lot of times these ground wires are grounded to the frame itself. Sometimes it's grounded to the engine, but the engine is grounded to the frame, etc., etc. All right, so if you have the situation where you're trying to figure out what's causing your issue, and you've essentially, you know, normally when you have no start issues, there's like a list of things that could cause your no ground issue, and you're going through the list one by one. Probably went through the whole entire list of things that could cause the issue, and everything seems to be fine for a no start issue. However, as I said before, there are vehicles that will start, but they'll have other issues, like they'll sputter out, low idles, weird RPM gauge. The RPM gauge will go up and down at weird times. The windshield wipers is going back and forth for no reason. And if you plug in an OBD2 scanner, you get like 10 codes. Now, like I said before, all right, that could be either an ECU issue, and you would have to test out the ECU to see whether that works or not, whether that's the problem or not. But many times, if you've gone down the list of every conceivable thing that that seems to have a connection to all these problems, and you know, everything seems to work, you guys should definitely look at the ground cables, because a lot of times with older vehicles, it really doesn't matter what the manufacturer is, whether it's Honda, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Cadillac, whatever is out there. All right, these ground cable issues. Now, I will say that the ground cable issues sometimes are more, you know, there's a general fault more with a certain company, with a certain, you know, certain models of car, etc., because of manufacturing faults, where a lot of times, for example, with Chevys or GMCs or GM, any so there was a period of time where they actually, when they drill the hole for the ground wire of the chassis where it's connected to, they either paint over the most of the surface of the ground, or the contact of the bolt to the ground was so small that any amount of rust that got in that covered the connection would actually cause many issues with, like I said before, a lot of these cars with GMs, they would start, but they have so many issues as far as all kinds of different things that don't have anything to do with each other, going, you know, working at weird times, like the windshield wipers working at weird times, the RPM going up and down, all that stuff is connected to that. But in most cars, in a lot of cars like Hondas, Toyotas, etc., a lot of times you would have to definitely make sure that rust and corrosion over time, if you have an older car, rust and corrosion will cause the connection of the ground to the chassis of the ground to the frame of the car to be weak, and it'll cause it to be weak enough many times that your car will have no crank, no start issues, and no crank, no start issues. So that's the ground wire. As a general rule, if you guys are looking for issues as far as parts, things that are not working in your car, or your car not having a crank, no start, no crank, you guys, no crank, no start, you guys should definitely have the ground wire on your list. A lot of times the ground wire is actually connected at a place on the frame where you could actually just follow the black wire, which is the ground wire, and just follow to where it's connected to the frame. Just make sure that wire, there's no corrosion there. And a lot of times when I have certain issues with my car, you know, and the issues that I can't figure out, but I'm trying it, normally I would clean up the ground wire, make sure the ground wire is connected, and secure, and it's free of corrosion. But I'll tell you what, if you guys really want to test out, and you know, the ground wire, as far as, you know, the main ground, the ground that connects to your battery, if you want to make sure, if you want to see whether there's a problem with that, the voltage will definitely, you guys have a voltmeter, you guys can use a voltmeter to see what the voltage is when the car is running versus when the car is not running. A lot of times when you got ground issues, you know, the voltage of the battery, the charging of the battery won't be very good. All right, it's not going to charge up good, and a lot of times that's when a lot of people have issues as far as the battery it would be completely drained, because it's not being charged, because the ground is not making enough contact. But in many cases, you're probably watching this video because you have a no crank, no start issue, and the ground issue, the ground cables are definitely one of the things that you should definitely look at. I've had situations where it wasn't just the main ground to the battery that was the issue. There was another ground to the engine, and I believe that ground was from the fuse box to the engine. That ground, for whatever reason, was broken off. Maybe a rat got to it. Maybe it broke off because of corrosion, because of brittleness, because of old age or whatever. But it's definitely something that you guys want to look for. Also connected to this ground issue is cleaning the cable, cleaning the part where the cable actually connects to the battery terminal. All right, that's a huge problem with no crank, no starts, and batteries not charging right. A lot of times that the cable, it's either loose on the battery, or there's so much rust and corrosion that it keeps it from having a good connection enough to start your car, or to get enough power to actually start your car, even if you do have power in your car. So if you guys are in that situation, definitely think about, wiggling a little bit. If it looks like it's really dirty or corroded, wiggle a little bit, or in a better scenario, just clean it up, and just pop it back on, and hopefully that solves your issue. But if you have any of your own personal opinions on this, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. All right, guys, take care.